Hello guys, this is Botworld Adventure and this is Ptash. I'm very excited because the update 1.3 just dropped, as you can see here. And well, that means a new bot as well as a new ability and a bunch of fixes as well. But as of now, I don't have the bot or the new ability, so I thought that I will answer your question that some of you asked. And this is all about my current loadout. What's the AI? What are the abilities, and so on and so on. I think it is good that I release a video like that, so you can know exactly what currently I'm using for my playthroughs. So let's check it out. Well, this is the loadout that I use often when I venture onto danger zones, because that's the main thing that I'm doing currently. And well, I think it would be good as well for arena, but probably I would use something else for arena. Still, that's my loadout for now, and well, the main combo is Chainer, Flamer and Beat. These guys are doing a great job of dealing with anyone that stands in Chainer's vision. It's very powerful, and this combo to work needs 4 boosters, so 4 alt cooldowns. These are not that hard to get if you play a lot and if you have a lot of playtime in the game. But for beginners, it might be a bit too, hard to get these boosters. You have to play for some time. But at the same time, I mean, you won't get Sheller or Beat like very fast into the game, or Halo. So yeah, my loadout is a bit advanced. If you are a beginner, you probably will have trouble with collecting these bots. And I don't say that you should have exactly this loadout. I have released videos about example loadouts for different levels for different players, so I might remake this video, or you just can find it, I think it's quite up to date. Okay, so why the remaining bots? To be honest, it's just because I quite love them. So Scatter is just crazy at, stunning enemies, like large group of enemies, as well as dealing enormous damage when close range. I also use him because he's the one of the highest levels I have, and he's very strong at that level 23. When it comes to Halo, I don't really know why I'm having him in this loadout. He dies very fast and he has some drawbacks to him, but for some reason I liked to use him here. And I would agree if someone told me that I should replace him, but at the same time I don't have a replacement really. Maybe Longshot, but I must admit, in the very late game, at the highest level, Longshot doesn't convince me, although I think he's still great in arena, right, with this old combo of supercharged Chaos Translocator. Still, when it comes to PvE, when it comes to fighting in danger zones, it's not that good. So yeah, I use Halo because I don't see a better bot here that I could use. Virus got heavily nerfed, and the bad thing about Virus is that you need hypercharge for him to work well, and sort of whenever you have a Virus, you just need to spam this hypercharge. I don't like to be locked into one playstyle with my bots, and Halo is like versatile. As long as you keep him safe, he will empower your allies. So he's quite good, and you rely on his abilities, so actually the level doesn't matter that much. When it comes to Sheller, I'm not sure. Sheller seems just so strong to me, and I could see in these patch notes that have released that he wasn't nerfed. And I mean, his damage is just crazy with mines. It's just insane, and I keep trying to get that essence, but it's quite hard. I wish I had him on a higher level, so he is more healthy because he dies pretty fast, and well, he deals more damage obviously. So there's that. Of course, I need to show you the AI as well, so let's do that. For Sheller, I go AAA, CA. So full A build basically. And this means that I go full damage. Why do I do that? B. Shell Shock starts fully charged. It doesn't seem too strong to me. I mean, it's a defensive ability, and you should place your Sheller in a safe spot so he doesn't have to use that Shell Shock instantly, Health, again, I think that you should just position him correctly instead of having more health. Mine stance. This is actually quite hard choice, and you can definitely choose this. Still, the cooldown increase is pretty high, and the difference between this and this is 30%, so it's quite a difference, you know. So yeah, I think it's a bit better, but stun is good too, you know. And here the slow, I don't dig slows in the game. I don't think that in Botworld Adventure slows are good. The reason is there are a lot of ranged bots, and if you slow, let's say, a long shot or Morty, it doesn't do anything. So yeah, I don't think that slows are good in general in the game, except some specific situations, of course. For example, there is Arena Master that uses only melee bots. I think the slows there would be good. But yeah, overall I don't think they are good, so yeah. So there's about that Sheller. Okay, now Scatter, and I will try to be a bit faster. So this is my build, and I mean, this isn't that good, and I would use the other option if it was better, but the other option doesn't seem that good to me. So let me explain. This is actually very good for the damage output of Scatter. This means that these pellets he shoots all hit more often, even at larger range. Without that, you need to stand like point blank to the enemy for Scatter to deal full damage. Still, it also sort of reduces the area of effect of his ultimate stun, and I use him like a hybrid. I want him to have that stun on a large area, but I also sometimes use him for damage. That's why I chose this. And this is also an interesting choice and not an obvious one. But I decided that I want the stun because my team relies on stuns, so yeah. When it comes to Sticky Trash, yeah, I didn't pick that because I don't think that slows are in general strong, as I said. And well, it's only a 10% chance. It's really low, you know. I know he shoots a lot of pellets, but come on. And meanwhile, this is just, you know, damage increase, which is great. And well, the other option here is Fortitude, which means more health. Again, I usually don't pick these AI options like health, because you should generally just, you know, focus on damage and not tanking the damage but dealing the damage, okay? But still, it's quite a hard choice because your Scatter is basically not moving with this. Still, I wanted this cooldown of stun shot, so yeah. Scatter in general has very hard AI to choose, and there are a lot of options that are like almost equal, so you can't go wrong with Scatter when it comes to AI. I hope I explained you what these options do, and well, let's go to the next. Here's the beat, and let's take a look. So I've chosen movement speed, and I could pick Inspire damage, like a boost, you know. I've just decided that 10% more damage isn't worth it, you know. I'd rather have beat faster. But if you chose this, I mean, both options are equally good. So in this case, you could pick any of that and it's fine. When it comes to second option, this is again the same situation, like 20% boost depending on what combo you have might be really good. I don't need that because I use beat with my chainer, and chainer just pulls enemies to himself, he doesn't chase them. But if I use beat with like chasers like Ram or maybe the new bot Phantom, then I would heavily consider this option. But for now I think that it's better to just have more damage. This actually, unless you are doing some weird tactic, the third option, I think that dodge melee attacks isn't that great, because again there are a lot of ranged bots in the game as well. Meantime, stun duration is just great, so I think the A option is better. And this is actually interesting what I picked here, and maybe I did wrong, it's hard to tell. I've decided to take health in this case. I mean, and I see why I did that. Beat is often in the in the center of the action, you know, and so he tanks a lot. And the more health he has, he can more often stun enemies. I don't really care that much about his Inspire ability, so that's why I didn't pick that. But this again is the situation in which it's hard to pick, and you can pick both options and you will be completely fine. It's quite interesting actually, because if you reduce his Inspire cooldown by 25%, it's like almost permanent, you know? Quite interesting. Okay, and we have Flamer here. So I don't pick health, especially for a damage dealer like Flamer, so I decided to get Flamethrower. This is a... I must admit this is a tough choice, because 50% charged flame field means that you can basically instantly use it and then charge another one, especially with 2 alt cooldowns, but this is also very good. So I mean, you should pick whatever you want here. If the timing is wrong with your chainer, with heat wave, you should consider a thermal battery. And the stun resistance, I mean, it's cool, but how often do you need that? So I've picked just more damage. And I've chosen here the healing from Flame Field. It's very good, especially for danger zones when you can't often heal that much. It's quite crucial, but this is good as well. I just don't need it because Beat stuns for me and Chainer stuns as well for a short duration, so I don't need that much. Now Chainer. So this is quite obvious that I prefer that multi-chain stuns enemies, not the single target chain. I don't know why would you consider getting this. I think it's better on the bottom. Then we have chain cooldown reduced and multi-chain cooldown reduced. Obviously I went for the bottom one. Here I've decided to do more damage, because if you pull enemies, they are already close, so you don't need that much more area of effect of your basic attack. And here I took multi-chain, starts 50% charged. I think it's the only option viable. Again, the slows aren't that good, and you want to have that area stun like as fast as possible to gain advantage on the battlefield. And finally Halo. I've decided to get a faster cooldown of boost bubble, but actually I think that I should consider changing that. I think that shield bubble is more important, because that shield bubble actually blocks all damage, and it's better that your ally lives longer, that he deals more damage. But I'm not sure. I think that it depends on the situation, so you should consider both options. When it comes to the second choice, I think that, well, yeah, you don't really use Halo for damage, so I just think that the A option is better here. Health again, he's quite squishy, so I think that 20% health doesn't help you really, and that 2 bot pack power, sometimes you can use some strong ability and bot pack ability and just change the tide of the battle. I think the B is better here. And here we have shield bubble or boost bubble, and I think that the B option is better because, well, like instantly after fight starts, you don't really need that shield. I mean, if you position correctly your bots, so yeah, it shouldn't be that useful. Although, I mean, in very specific situations, I think that A might be better here, but overall I think B is better. Okay guys, so that was the AI of my bots that I use, and well, let's go for the abilities. So I think that Corrode is the most important here, as well as Knockback. Gust is pretty important as well for Sheller. And why do I use them? So Corrode lasts for 30 seconds, so if you are dealing with a tank, it will last the entire battle. And well, Poison ignores any defenses, because there are 2 damage types in the game that you can get like a reduction of. So physical and magic. And from what I know, Poison is neither, so Poison is best against tanks. And for 30 seconds you really get the value of this only 3 power, you know, because it costs only 3 power, yeah. And Knockback is very useful, because not only you displace enemy, but you also stun them for quite a short time, but it's enough to interrupt attack of Big Shot, for example. Poison Missile, I just recently picked it up. Don't consider it a choice, like a final choice. Here I just use some random ability. There can be anything there really, like supercharged Chaos Translocator can be here as well, doesn't matter. This is like a, you know, Joker spot, like there can be anything. I just test things out here. Gust, I mean, I use Gust because of Sheller. It's sometimes good to get enemies into his mines, you know. Boosters I explained because I use trainer. It's just important that I get these and not the others. And finally gadgets. Okay, so this is my loadout. As you can see, I don't really use a lot of gadgets that would give me advantage during a fight. I just use gadgets outside, like in the open world, except damage amplifier. I just get it sometimes, you know, to fight some bosses. It's quite good. And why do I do that? I mean, it's very useful for fighting exterminators in danger zones. Mines can deal with a lot of enemies, which would be very hard to defeat without like some help, you know. And I don't think that speed amplifier or botpack overclocker would do the same. Bombardment is basically the same. And shockwave generator is crucial for just passing through enemies. That would be too hard to you know, battle again, as I say. So yeah, it's all about that. This is the setup that I've used for a long time, and I didn't really consider other options. Like maybe only invisibility instead of like damage amplifier would be good, but the downside of invisibility is it only has one use, and well, is it even that good? Like it does what a shockwave generator does, but it has only one use. I don't know. If it had two uses, I would consider, but I think that my current loadout is just, you know, better. So yeah, that was it, guys. It's like a full explanation, everything there, gadgets, abilities, boosters, all AI of my bots, and also how they work. So yeah, guys, I will update this video in the future when I change my loadout like greatly, but as of now this is my loadout, and thanks guys for watching.